Welcome back to my channel. Let me ask you something straight up. Have you ever had that feeling in your gut that she liked? You really liked you, but you just couldn't prove it. She smiled, she laughed at your joke. She even replied faster than usual. But then, out of nowhere, cold, distant, like someone flipped a switch, and now you're sitting there thinking, was I just imagining all of it? No, man, you weren't. See, here's the truth. Most women won't just come out and say it when they're into you, not because they're playing games, but because they're reading the situation, watching to see if you can pick up the signals without needing it spelled out. And that's where most guys get it wrong. They chase too early. They talk too much. They sign number one. She invests emotionally. Rush something that was already unfolding naturally, but you're about to see the truth. Because when a woman genuinely likes you, she gives off 3 undeniable signals. If you know what to look for, you'll never be confused again. This isn't about tricks. It's not about hacks. It's about finally understanding the signs that were always there. So let's decode her behavior. And after this, you'll never miss the signs again. Signal 1, her energy changes around you. Let's get this straight. Words can lie. Smiles can be polite. But energy doesn't fake it. When a woman likes you, her presence shifts even if she's not aware of it. She becomes more open, softer, not in volume, but in intention around others. She might be casual, but around you. She's dialed in like you're the only one in the room. You'll notice the little things. Her voice slows down when she talks to you. Her eyes linger just a little longer. She mirrors your body language without even realizing it. She remembers small details you barely recall saying. These aren't random. That's her emotion showing up before her words ever do. And no, not every laugh in your DMs means something, and sometimes playing hard to get isn't a game. Sometimes she's just not into it, but when she is, you'll feel it in the way she listens, the way she engages, and the way her whole vibe shifts when you walk into the room. That's not an accident. That's instinct. So what do? You stay grounded. You don't push. You don't rush. Because the more calm and confident you are, the safer she feels to keep showing you more attention. Is loud, but attraction is quiet. Listen closely. Signal 2. She makes space for you. Let's be real. Life gets busy. People have obligations, responsibilities, and never-ending to-do lists. But one thing remains true across almost every situation. People make time for what and who they care about. Period. That applies to friendships. That applies to passions. And yes, that absolutely applies to romantic energy. A woman may say she's overwhelmed, that her schedule is packed, or that she barely has time to breathe and that space. Not because she feels like she has to, but because she wants to. And that's the key difference. She's not carving out time because you sign number 2. She respects your time and space, asked her to. She's not rearranging her day because she's lonely or bored. She's doing it because something about you has landed emotionally, energetically, maybe even subconsciously. Here's how it usually plays out. At first, you might just be someone in her orbit, a casual acquaintance, a co-worker. She passes in the hallway, a friend of a friend she met once at a party. No big deal, no spark, nothing special. But over time, something shifts. She starts reaching out, initiating small talk, sending messages that seem random but feel intentional. She asks about your day. She reacts to your stories. She sends you a song and says, "This reminded me of you." She finds ways to connect even if there's no logical reason for it. She shows up to the same event she conveniently happens to be where you are. She brings up a conversation you had last week, one that you forgot about, but she didn't. That's not coincidence. That's not a glitch in the matrix. That's emotional gravity. She might not even understand it herself. But there's something about you that her internal world is starting to orbit. And if you're tuned in, if you're paying attention, you'll notice the trail of emotional breadcrumbs she's leaving behind. Phrases like, "I told my best friend what you said." we were both laughing, or I passed by that coffee place. You like thought of you. These are clues, hence small but powerful signals. What they're really saying is this: you're not just someone I interact with, you're someone I think about when you're not around. And that matters because once you start showing up in her thoughts consistently, organically, and unprovoked, you're no longer on the outside of her emotional life. You've entered the inner circle, maybe quietly, maybe slowly, but you're there. And here's where things get even more interesting. The female brain is deeply associative. It doesn't just process facts, it processes feelings tied to those facts. So if you made her laugh, she associates that joy with you. If you offered a moment of calm during a stressful day, she associates that peace with you. If you said something that made her feel understood, she associates that safety with you. This is how emotional attachment begins, not with fireworks, not with grand declarations, but with small moments that feel meaningful, moments that stick, moments that repeat. And sign number 3. She seeks to understand you before either of you realize it. You've become more than just someone she enjoys talking to. You've become someone who brings her back to herself, someone who offers something rare, comfort without demand. That comfort is powerful because we don't let go of comfort easily. Now here's the important part. What should you do when you notice this happening? Because yes, it's flattering. Yes, it can be exciting to realize that someone is making space for you, but that doesn't mean it's time to act like she's already yours. Don't get cocky. Don't start playing games and don't rush in with intensity, thinking this is your green light to push forward full speed. Instead, stay grounded, stay present, be real, show her that you see her effort, not by calling it out directly, but by matching her energy with authenticity. Respond when she reaches out, mirror the effort, but don't overwhelm her with over-communicational pressure. Let the pace unfold naturally. This is a delicate space she's created emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically. And if you storm into that space like you own it, you risk collapsing the very foundation she's been building, often without fully realizing it herself. Because when a woman makes space for you, she's not just opening up her calendar, she's opening up her emotional bandwidth. She's letting you take up residence in her internal world. And that's a place you treat with care. And here's the magic part. The longer you stay grounded, the more her emotional curiosity starts to grow. She starts asking herself questions she didn't expect. Why do I want to hear from him? Why do I feel better after we talk? Why does it feel weird when he doesn't reach out? Those questions are the beginning of genuine attachment, not just interest attachment, the kind that doesn't fade with distance or time. So if you've noticed that she's making space for you through attention, through interaction, through subtle consistency, understand the depth of that signal. Don't take it lightly, don't misuse it, and don't try to turn it into something performative. Because the truth is, when a woman begins making space for you, it's rarely by accident. It's emotional, it's internal, it's intentional, even when she doesn't have the words for it yet. So be patient, be respectful, and be emotionally available without being emotionally overwhelming. Because the moment she realizes that life feels more aligned when you're part of it, and slightly off when you're not, that's when you know something real is forming. Not just chemistry, not just attraction, but emotional connection. The kind that grows in silence and speaks the loudest without saying a word. Signal 3, her guard drops, but only around you. Every woman walks through the world with some level of emotional armor. And I'm not talking about being cold, distant, or unapproachable. No, this armor is a bit more subtle, a bit more complex. It's built through life experience. It's shaped by the things she's been through, both the good and the painful. And it's there, not because she's trying to shut people out or be difficult. It's simply a result of what life has taught her. To be cautious, to protect herself from hurt, from rejection, from disappointment. This armor is her emotional defense system. It's there to keep the world at a safe distance, to feel her who gets close and who doesn't. It's not a weapon, but a shield. Now, when a woman genuinely starts to like you, something changes. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's rarely dramatic. You won't see a sudden sweeping transformation, where everything she's built up crumbles. But piece by piece, like a slow and steady shift, her armor begins to slip. And here's where the magic happens. She stops showing you the version of herself that everyone else gets to see, the polished, controlled version of her that's been carefully curated. Instead, she starts showing you the real, the unfiltered, unguarded version, the one she keeps hidden behind walls of protection. This is a big deal, a monumental moment, because she's not doing this with just anyone. She's doing it with you. She opens up not for drama, not to get attention, but because she trusts you. Because in your presence, she feels safe enough to let go of the emotional armor she's worn for so long. And that's intimacy in its purest form. And it's not just about words, it's in her actions too. You'll notice it in her laughter. It'll sound freer. You'll hear her reactions become more genuine, more uninhibited. She'll stop editing herself and those carefully measured responses that once shielded her. Thoughts will melt away. This is huge because women don't show vulnerability to men. They don't trust. They just don't. So if she's opening up to you, letting you see the deeper, more sensitive parts of her, you need to understand the gravity of that moment. She's not asking for help. She's not looking for someone to fix her. That's a mistake many men make. They hear her share something personal, and the knee-jerk reaction is to try and solve it, to offer advice or fix the problem. But that's not what she wants. What she truly wants is presence. She doesn't need you to come in and swoop down as her hero. She doesn't want you to be her fixer. She just wants you to be there with her. She wants you to hold space for her emotions without feeling the need to control them. She wants to feel seen, understood, and accepted without judgment or an immediate urge to change things. Because when she feels emotionally safe with you, when she can be her true unguarded self and know you won't run, that's when a bond begins to form. And not just any bond, one that's solid, real and unbreakable. But here's something most men miss. This emotional opening, it's exclusive. She's not showing this side of herself to just anyone. It's not something she does casually, and it's definitely not something she shares with the people around her. In the same way she's trusting you with a piece of her heart that she keeps protected from the rest of the world. And once that version of her comes out, there's no going back. You're no longer just someone she talks to. You're now a chapter in her story. You've moved past the surface level interactions, you've entered the realm of true connection. It's something that many men don't fully grasp. When she starts showing her vulnerabilities, when she lets her guard drop and shares her fears, her dreams, her passions, and her struggles, that's not a signal that she's emotionally unstable. That's a sign of trust. And trust is something you need to honor. It's delicate. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to solve her problems. But what you do need to do is be present. Be the person who's there when she needs to talk. Be the one who listens without interruption. Be the one who creates that emotional safety net, where she knows she can be vulnerable without fear of judgment. So if you find yourself in a situation where her guard drops around, you take it seriously, appreciate it, understand that this is her choosing to let you in. She's choosing to trust you with the most private, unspoken parts of herself. And that is a privilege if you truly value her. And this connection, don't take it for granted. Don't treat her vulnerability as something to be fixed or something that's too much. It's real and it's precious. Because when a woman lets you see this side of her, when she opens up to you in a way that she doesn't with anyone else, you're not just a passing chapter in her life. You're part of her story, and that's something worth cherishing. This is where true emotional intimacy begins. And when you handle it with care and respect, it becomes the foundation of something lasting and meaningful. So the next time she opens up to you when her guard drops, even if only for a moment, take a step back and recognize the gift she's giving you. Because you're not just hearing her words, you're getting to see her soul. And that's a bond no one else will ever be able to replicate. You don't need money. You don't need fame. You don't need to be the loudest guy in the room. You just need to notice, because a woman who truly likes you. She rarely says it first, but she always shows it in her energy, in the space she makes, and in the walls she lets down. If you're man enough to pay attention, you'll never miss the signs again. And if you've made it this far, you're already part of the rare few who actually get it. Drop the word noticed in the comments if this hit home, because once you start noticing, you can't unsee it. And trust me, the game changes forever. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Stoicism, where we dive deeper into the truths most men never hear. We're just getting started. Stay grounded, stay aware, and remember, the strongest men don't chase. They observe. Until next.